Thank you. Now we move on. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he will travel to Washington on Monday to meet President Donald Trump, following the U.S. President's summit with President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. President Zelensky said that Kyiv supports Trump's idea of a trilateral meeting with the U.S. and Russia and has welcomed what he called positive signals from Washington on security guarantees. But reactions inside Ukraine has been skeptical. Let's first listen into what a Kyiv political analyst has said on the Alaska talks.
From little information which was released in the morning, the situation is like that no agreement reached. There are some preliminary negotiations, probably some further meetings. And this is actually fits into the plan of Putin, which tries to postpone the time, tries to postpone the decision making, and try to utilize this time for further activities. And you saw that today already at night we had a new shelling in Ukraine. So we'll see what will happen, but the prognosis is that we won't see any peace deal or ceasefire agreement till the end of the year. About next meeting between Putin, Zelensky and Trump, I think that if this meeting will happen, it requires a lot of preparational steps, a lot of negotiations between all allies and partners, including European partners.
Moreover, we also had residents and commentators who voiced their frustration and called the summit a diplomatic win for Putin, as it offered no clear progress for Ukraine towards peace. Let's listen into what some of them had to say.
Я думаю, що це дуже некорисна зустріч, бо питання по Україні вони повинні вирішуватися з Україною, з участю українців і президента, влади і так далі. І тим більше, що конкретних ніяких заяв не було, і ми по факту не розуміємо, з чим домовилися ці два великі хлопці.
Ні до чого не договорились, ніяких розподілів нема. Як стріляли, так і будуть стріляти. Як пускали свої ракети на Київ, так і будуть пускати. Ще й додають сюди дрони реактивні.
Ми харків'яни вже такі фаталісти, чесно. Ми віримо в перемогу, знаємо, що вона буде, але хто саме цьому буде сприяти, чи як воно станеться, це тільки Богу відомо. Тому ми надіємося на краще, не втрачаємо віру, донатимо, допомагаємо чим можемо, робимо свою справу і не дуже заглядаємось що там той Трамп робить.
In short, many Ukrainians have expressed doubts whether a ceasefire or agreement would emerge this year, warning that Moscow will continue its attacks. This comes after the Trump-Putin summit on Alaska yesterday, which ended without a ceasefire deal, with both leaders claiming progress but providing no details. Now, for this discussion, we're joined by Glenn Grant. He's an ex-advisor to Ukrainian Defense Minister, joins us live from Riga. Thank you, Glenn, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, thank you. We had a discussion yesterday, and you called it right. No deal, warm words, warm gestures, but cold reality of no deal. What are your thoughts now?
By the way, I'm in Kyiv. I'm not in Riga this week.
Okay.
So I've had a good opportunity to talk to people as well. My views are completely unchanged. I mean, there was never going to be a deal coming into this meeting. And the moment that Lavrov turned up with a USSR t-shirt, sweatshirt wearing, then it was clear that they were just here to get as much out of it for themselves as they could do, which is what they've done. Putin has been put back onto the world stage, acknowledged by Trump. And he's not going to give Trump anything. In fact, he's just mocking Trump at the moment. So in my view, this is one of the most dangerous meetings that has been held in the world in tens of years, because it's just shown the USA to be weak.
Right, and building on that, do you think by framing NATO's eastward expansion, and you said that this is becoming more and more dangerous as Putin holds the narrative kind of, so is Putin trying to shift the narrative away from Russia's responsibility?
Well, in the first thing, one's got to stop this nonsense about NATO expansion being of any importance. Russia has been invading people for years and years before NATO was even thought of, even a dream. So this is part of Russia's actions and the way they behave. They're expansionist. NATO's got nothing to do with it. Putin will do his best to gain credibility because he needs resources to continue his war from places like Africa, and he needs to show that he is still the man on the spot to China, to North Korea, and to his other allies. And he's done that quite successfully with this trip. One thing I would say is I'm not completely convinced that was the real Putin that came to the meeting. His behavior was very un-Putin-like. So I think, I leave that to the better experts. But yeah, Putin has come out of this on the up with credibility, and he will try and push this credibility as hard as he can to make Ukraine look like Ukraine is the problem, not him the problem.
Glenn, that's really interesting what you said about Putin, but what's your take on Trump? So Trump throwing Biden administration under the bus there, and kind of also Putin leveraged on that, saying that, yes, it was Trump in the office, this wouldn't have happened, this invasion or this war. So what's your take on Trump?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I almost don't know what to say apart from the fact he appears either ill or deluded. I think he's ill. I think he's got something wrong with him severely. I mean, he doesn't make any sense. He doesn't talk rationally. He doesn't act rationally. And you can bull this up and say this is just Trump being Trump. But I'm sorry, but he can't even finish sentences at the moment. So to actually for him to go into a meeting with someone who is a consummate negotiator, KGB trained, and then come out of it with nothing and say it was a 10 out of 10 meeting. I mean, that should worry every American, and certainly every senior American in important positions, because frankly, in my view, they've got a president that is not actually working in any way as a president should do.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Always nice hearing from you, and very interesting insights you've shared. Thank you very much. Now we move